Hey guys, it's your girl Rimby. Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's episode of Purposetalk. Thank you for watching my last video, and I appreciate the conversations that I had with you guys. At any point when you want to talk, that's the only reason why I'm making this video, so that I can have these conversations with you guys, so we can have these conversations together and learn from them. So if you ever want to reach out to me, make sure you're following me on my social media account, and you can always inbox me when you've watched the video. Before we begin the talk today, I just want you to close your eyes and I want you to take yourself back to a time where you were operating or doing something that really brought you joy, something that felt so easy to you, something that felt like a gift to you, something you used to do really well, but at some point you stopped. A lot of us have done this. A lot of us have been really good at something, and then we do it, and then we stop. I want you to think about the reasons why you stopped doing that thing. I want you to think about the reason why you stopped believing in your dream, why you stopped believing in your purpose, why you stopped trying to use your gift and actually work on your craft. So today I saw this picture of myself when I was 19 years old, and I'd completely forgotten that I'd taken this picture. I'd completely even forgotten about this experience. I was in this picture while I was working as a stylist at 19 years old for Westfield Mall in Canberra. Just by chance, one day I was working in a fashion store in Canberra. I was working in this fashion store. One day, the senior stylist of Westfield came through into our shop, and she wanted to get clothes that she was going to use for the fashion shows that they do every single beginning and closing of the season. So by the time that I came onto my shift and my manager left, she then left me in charge of selecting clothes, showing the stylist how to style them. That way she could obviously represent our brand in the best way possible. I take the clothes that I liked, I put them, I put everything together. The stylist comes in, and when she came in, I remember her just saying to me, wow, like, I really like your style. Like, what do you do? I told her that my dream was to become a fashion designer. My dream was to become a fashion stylist and literally like work backstage for fashion shows and all that stuff, right? So as I'm talking to her, she then says to me, well, how about you come in and you work for me as well? Of course, I took up that opportunity, right? And I became a junior stylist for her. So every single time we'll do fashion shows, I'll literally get in and work for her. The first 2 fashion shows that we did, it was all voluntary basis. I didn't get paid for it. The other last shows that we did together, I literally was getting paid. I think it was between $250 to $350 per gig. So as I was looking at this picture and reflecting on this experience in my life, I then asked myself, hey, if you're at 19 years old, you were already operating in part of your purpose. If at 19 years old, you had already identified a gift that you had, how come you didn't make it as big as you wanted to? I realized 2 things. Hope that these things can also resonate with you, just in case you're also currently doing them. Number 1, at that time, I was not trying to grow my gift of styling. I was not trying to grow my gift in fashion. At that time, I was chasing the goal of becoming a stylist. I was also chasing the goal of living in New York and being a stylist in New York, concentrating on the big names that I wanted to work for. I always said, when I was younger and I came across Kanye West, I just fell in love with Kanye West. Like, this is crazy, but I'm telling you, anybody who knows me at that time knows that my goal, my big dream was to end up working on Kanye West's styling team. That was my big dream in life. That's just what I wanted. I wanted to work for Kanye West. I wanted to work for the likes of him anyway. Number 2, the other thing that I was doing that made sure that I did not end up attaining that goal or reaching that level of success as a stylist, or being able to tick off those goals that I had, was that I was very, very inconsistent. See, at that time, I did not see how myself as a young Black woman living in Australia, I could potentially end up working in the places that I wanted to end up, right? I couldn't see how I could end up living in New York, right? So for me at that time, my dream felt too big, or rather, my gift at that time felt too small to operate it in New York. So what was the point of even trying to bother to do it in Australia if I was not going to make it where I wanted to make it? This is what we do a lot of the times. A lot of the times we, number 1, we chase after the fruits of our purpose. We chase after the fruits of our gifts before we actually take time to craft our gift, before we actually take time to grow our gift. And here's why that is a mistake. It's a mistake because when you chase after the fruit, you become very impatient with the idea of growing your gift. You become very impatient with allowing the process of your purpose to take place. It's also the reason why a lot of people don't end up actually fulfilling their dreams, not because they're incapable, not because they were too far off their gifts, but because they were mainly focused on the fruits of their purpose, on the fruits of their gifts, only focus on the results, you become very short-sighted. You also become very one-trick minded. So you can only see one way to get to what you want. If you're looking at your gifts right now and you're only looking at how to make money from it, right? You're going to be quickly judgmental according to your current circumstances, because your end goal is making money out of those gifts, right? And if currently you don't have money, you're not going to invest in your gifts, because your gift is not going to bring you the money that you want in that moment. And that's why a lot of people will put their gifts aside. That's why a lot of people will put their dreams aside, because they're mainly concentrated on the fruits of their purpose, the fruits of their gifts. What you need to be doing is focusing on growing your gift. If you're focused on growing your gift, you're going to find it easier to be consistent. You're going to find it much more easier to be patient, because you're not worried about the money. You understand that provision is already there. There is no way that you're going to have $1 million ideas, work towards those 1 million ideas, and not be able to find that $1 million. Number one, God doesn't work that way. Number two, the law of attraction does not work that way. If you believe in the law of attraction, if you believe in God, right? If you have faith in those two things, or if you've got faith in yourself, and even if you don't have faith in those two things, if you have faith in the simple idea that if you plant something, that thing is going to grow, and when that thing grows, it's going to provide you with fruit, focus, then you're not going to find it hard to actually be consistent. You're not going to find it hard to actually be patient with the process of your gifts. If you want to frustrate yourself when it comes to your dreams, when it comes to your purpose, when it comes to your gifts, right? Be mainly concentrated on the fruits of your gifts, or the results of what you're trying to do. If you only look at that and you don't allow room for anything else, you're going to become frustrated, and a lot of the times you will probably end up deciding to quit on your dream, not because it's impossible, not because you're not the right person to do it, but because you're literally focused on the wrong thing. It's so important to shift your mind from only focusing on the fruits of your purpose to actually focusing on growing your gift. When you focus on growing your gift, you understand pace. When you focus on growing your gift, you understand patience. You understand how time also affects your results. If I plant a tree today, I'm not going to come in every single day and check up if the tree is not bearing any fruits, because I understand that in order for me to get fruits, there's a process. There's consistency of feeding the tree, of watering the tree, of pruning the tree that has to happen before I can actually sit there and enjoy the fruits of my tree. You have to understand this. For you to be able to get to a place where your purpose begins to bear fruit, there is a process that needs to happen, and that process requires consistency. Consistency is literally something that I struggle with, and I've had to learn to, in the last year or so, I've really had to learn to dig my heels deeper and tell myself, you now need to be disciplined. I still struggle with it, but now I'm quick to check myself, because now I understand how inconsistency can kill it. What's going to make you successful is, number one, changing your perspective, growing your craft versus chasing the fruits of your purpose, right? Number two, also being consistent. I dare you to combine those two things, and hopefully you can come back one day and tell me, girl, I did those two things and I can see different results. Thank you so much, guys, for watching me today, and I'll see you next Monday on another session of Purpose Talk. Bye.